Hi everybody, I'm back again with another video. I just stopped at Dunkin', I got some iced coffee, and I'm at my favorite thrift store, the St. Vincent. So I'm excited to see what we will find. Just wanted to give you guys a little update, maybe you're curious, from that brass haul that I posted maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. Just kind of like an update of maybe some of the stuff that sold. So far, the brass tray that I showed had sold a shoehorn, the armadillo, and one of the brass cowboy boots sold. So that's what we got so far. So that's kind of fun. I still have a ton of brass to sell, so hopefully it keeps going. But yeah, thank you for coming along. Let's check out St. Vincent. So jumping right into the voiceover, I'm zooming in on that brass candelabra. I wasn't that into the style because it had those grape leaves and grapes on it. And also that lamp is still there and still just as beautiful as it was before. No one has bought it still. And when I was looking at it in my head, I was thinking, if it's still here next time and it's like that half off color, I think I'm going to pick it up, even though I probably don't need to buy any more lamps. But it is one of those smaller size lamps. And it is really pretty. I like when the brass is mixed with like a marble or a granite. It's a very classy, elegant look for an office. So the colors are still red and green. I think red was half off and green was 25. Okay, so I was looking at those dried florals. They were kind of like grasses dyed red. I decorate with a lot of dried florals, and I was thinking about it, but I just figured I don't think I need that red color. It was a very vibrant red, and I do decorate with kind of like brick reds, like earthy reds in my house. I have a brick red fireplace in my living room, so I do try to bring that color out in other areas in the room. And so I like the brick reds. I do incorporate that. The vibrant reds, maybe for Christmas, but last year I did green for Christmas, and I really like that. And I feel like I probably will do green again for Christmas this year. So the store was pretty quiet today. There was some shoppers, not a lot. A lot of resellers. I picked that up because I didn't look at it last time I was there, and it was interesting. It just had a JM at the bottom. I think it was like a hobbyist piece that they would paint. And yeah, I decided to leave it. And looking over here, kind of coming across the baskets, swooping over. This was a great find. I was so happy to pick this up. It's a brass pocket change dish. It's a very heavy solid brass. It probably would have had a wooden piece that went with it, and the brass would be kind of like an insert that went into that wooden piece. I was looking on the shelves for, that wooden piece that would have gone in. I just didn't see it. But regardless, I think it could sell well either way. So that brass piece I'm going to put on Etsy, and I think that will do good. Things that are small that can ship easily are a good pickup. I don't have free shipping, so the buyer pays for shipping. So if an item doesn't cost a whole lot to ship, I feel like it sells a little faster. Okay, so I had looked at this at this thrift store before. It's like a candelabra almost, with a floral frog in the middle. And I put it in my basket because red's half off. It was marked at like $5, but I ended up putting it back because it was broken. Like the legs of the piece had come apart. You could probably glue it back together with metal glue, which I have, but I just didn't want to do that. So I put that back. And then as I always say, there's so many fresh parts always. So I think 2 or 3 fresh carts came out the duration that I was there. And yeah, I can't remember if I got anything off the new cart or not. So over here, I look at this spoon. It says Holy Guacamole. It was by Mud Pie. And then I also looked at the spoon. It was a gold-colored spoon with an angel. I have a collection of gold-colored spoons, so that's why I was looking at that. And I decided to pass on that angel one. And then these I did put in my cart. They were like a bass fish, I think. And they were a salt and pepper shaker set. And so I put them in there. I did end up Google imaging them, and I think it was, I can't remember what the comps were, but they weren't really that high, so I put it back. I may have inserted a comp. I did try to insert comps in this video, so some of the stuff I looked up, I did add. So I was looking at that strainer for myself. I am on the lookout for a small strainer, but I just decided I'll pass on that. And then this serving spoon I've looked at before. I think the design's really pretty. I know somewhere in that bin is like the fork that goes to the salad server, but I don't know who makes it. I think I Google imaged it before and just didn't find anything, but it's really pretty. Moving over to this end cap over here, I looked at these Studio Pottery creamer and sugars. They were really nicely done, and the blue and white's nice. I was just feeling the lid to see if it had any chips or cracks. I didn't feel any. I didn't end up picking these up. The creamer just looked discolored to me, like it wasn't the same color as the creamer. It had more of like a yellowy brown color to it. And as much as I would love to sell creamers and sugars, they're kind of like anything like that is kind of a slower sell for me. So I decided to leave them. And here I'm looking at milk glass candlestick holders. I've never picked up milk glass for resale. And that's just because I don't know what people are looking for when they're shopping for milk glass. So if you guys know, you can let me know if it's like a specific item or brand, or what am I looking for with milk glass. Okay, and then here were some stackable amber colored fluted cups. They were really pretty. I wasn't sure if they were modern or vintage. I don't like picking up glassware. Yeah, it's kind of a slower sell for me, and I don't like storing it, but those are really pretty. I actually just recently sold a set of mid-century glasses. They finally sold on eBay, but they sold for like under $20, and it was like 4 of them. So glassware, it takes up a lot of space, and it takes up a lot of packing supplies to pack it, like a lot of bubble wrap, and then sometimes I double box stuff like that. So those are all factors on why I just don't prefer picking it up. So I'm over in the candle section. I always look for lucite candles. I have yet to find any. I have found a glassy baby candle votive before. I found it at a Goodwill, and this was before I had an Etsy. So I had sold that one on eBay, and I sold it for $50, and it sold pretty quickly, and so that was a great find. I'm still always looking for glassy babies. I haven't found another one yet. Now this is a Spode tin. Spode's a good brand for resale. I've definitely found like Spode Christmas dishware before. I haven't picked it up, but people do resell Spode. And then this was a enamel dish. It was over brass. It did have some enamel loss, like chips of enamel loss on the back of the dish, but not on the front part. And it was really bright and colorful enamel work. I really did like it. I did end up eventually putting it back just because it would have been like a lower priced item. And I have a lot of things that are brass already. So that's why I ended up leaving that one behind. I almost got it because I don't find a lot of enamel or cloisonne type items, but okay, going into the Christmas here. I didn't really see anything in the holiday Christmas section. Sorry about my finger. Okay, so I'm revisiting that blanket from the previous video that I really, really wanted. And when I recorded the voiceover and was watching it, I was like, why didn't I buy it? But on this visit, I didn't film it. I opened up the blanket and it was very small. Like, I think it was like a baby blanket size. And so I left it and I'm like, okay, it's fine. I left it. If it was like an Afghan or a bigger size blanket, I would have bought it this time. But since it was small, I left it. If someone ever like turned that into a pillow or something, that would have been really pretty. I don't find as many crocheted pillows as I do blankets, but I do like the pillows. And then speaking of pillows, here's some pillows. I found good pillows there before, but not today. I found a wool hook pillow with a ski rack with skis on it. And it's not vintage, so I did list that one on eBay. But those pillows, like those wool hook pillows, they sell really high. Like new, that pillow was selling for around $100. But I listed mine for $60 on eBay. The pillow I listed was pretty much new. Now this is kind of what Spode would look like. That's not a Spode. It had like an angel on top of the Christmas tree, and Spode always has a Santa. And then here's just a hand-painted little porcelain dish. Now this vase I picked up, and I think it said made in Spain under the sticker. It didn't look like it had any damage. It didn't really have any chips, and I loved how colorful it was. I did put it in my basket, and I sadly did put it back, only because I have some vases listed, and that was a Penn State ashtray. I gave that a look, and then there was a brass vase next to it, which I did not pick up. I just have a lot of brass. And here is a fused glass dish. It was only $1.99. It had vegetables on it. It was probably signed by Peggy Carr or something. I have a Sidon Stricker fused glass piece, and it's been sitting. It hasn't sold yet, so that's why I didn't pick that up. And then here is a like a hand-blown ornament. It looked like probably it was made in China. I didn't end up picking it up, but they are cool to find those. Just going through the Christmas again, and they are bringing out a new cart. Yay! Someone that resells did snag those little blue, like gradient bowls. Okay, here's that comp I was talking about. Just like a little overview of them. They sell for about under $20, so that's why I put those back. And then I found this on the new card. I thought it was cool. It was in its original packaging. It was like a nail polish holder. Now this I did purchase. It's a wall pocket. It was really cute. Artist made. And then this I looked at because I saw that old Fenton sticker on it. It's a white glass candle holder with like a bowl. I did look it up and the value wasn't too high on it, so I put it back. And then this was another handmade pottery votive. I didn't end up picking that up. I thought that would sell for around $20. And so here's that comp I was talking about. So as cool as that white glass piece was, it was selling under $20. So I left it. And then here's just a view of the cart. Yeah, the stuff I ended up purchasing. So this blue and white set, I turned over to try to see who made it. It didn't have a marking on it unless the sticker was over it. It had like an Asian scene to it. And then I like the green plates like this. This one had a clock. And it didn't seem to have any marking on the back of it. And then I checked out this plate. This one ended up being ironstone, and I was familiar with that name. Ironstone's collectible by some people, so I did look it up, and this is what I found. So this particular plate had a carriage scene on it, and it didn't sell very high, so I ended up leaving that one behind. Okay, so I'm back in the car after checking out. I just got that wall pocket and that brass thing that said pocket change, and then I got a frame. And after I get home, I'm going to show you guys the art and I'm going to film framing it. And did I get anything else? I think that's it. Maybe I got something else. I'll mention it if I do. I wanted to tell you a story. There was a lot of people in this, not a lot of people in the store, but a lot of people that resell in the store. You can just tell, like, they were just talking to each other, like, what's the value of this? And like, you know, you could tell. So it was like a group of guys, two guys, I guess they did it together, so that's kind of fun and cool. And then some other people you could kind of tell were also resellers, which is fine. Like, I always run into other resellers and I'm there doing that myself. And sometimes they're interested in the same kind of things I am, but a lot of times not. Like, I'm looking for brass and things that would sell on Etsy. And yeah, everyone's looking for something different, and there's always so much stuff to go around. Like, I have a lot of inventory. So if they snag things that I would snag, it's okay. It's totally good. But yeah, I wanted to tell you, when I was checking out, the people know me because I'm like always in there. And she's like, oh, hey, how are you today? And some small chat, just kind of talking to her. And then when I was talking to her, some other guy that I had seen in the store before, not before, but just today, just saw him shopping. He came up to me while I was checking out and he gave me a piece of candy. And I was just like, oh, thank you so much. And then I kind of gave the cashier like a little look, and she was like, oh, he's just harmless. And then I told her, I said, you can always tell when people are being nice, and just always just receive kindness, even if it seems a little different than what something like someone would normally do. I'm not going to eat the candy. I'm not going to take any chances. I'm sure he's a great guy, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting. You like run into that stuff all the time at thrift stores, which is, it's kind of fun. But anyways, just wanted to share that with you. Don't worry, I'm not going to eat the candy, but yeah. So, all right, I'm going to catch you at my house, or I also need to get bubble wrap, so I might take you along for that. For this next footage here, I went to a Goodwill. This is a Goodwill I don't normally go to. It's a little further out of my way, but I decided to go there today. This was after I picked up my daughter, so we went together. She goes to a pre-K, so okay. So I looked at this, and it had like a barcode at the bottom of it, so I could tell that was a newer piece. It wasn't like a mid-century bottle or anything like that. So yeah, that would have been cool if it was. I've never picked up one of those big bottles before. Now this was definitely nice. It did have like the maker on the bottom, I put it in my cart, but I ended up putting it back. I just thought it might be not as eye-catching and like a listing photo. I thought it might take a little while to sell. Now this looked just like Bill Campbell, didn't it? With that glaze. Oh my gosh. But under the sticker, there was no signature, and Bill Campbell always signs. I can't tell you how many times I have found Bill Campbell at the thrift store. It's amazing. Yeah, Bill Campbell, he's not from the Pittsburgh area. However, I get so many of his pieces at the thrift store. So I don't understand why there's so much of it here. I have a theory that maybe he sold at the Pittsburgh Arts Festivals, and that's why, a lot of his pieces end up in the Pittsburgh area. Yeah, so I'm not sure why, but it's cool. So I do find him quite a bit. And I'm always sad to sell his things because I love pottery myself, and his stuff is beautiful. It has that very signature glaze with that milky blue and purple. And it always has a buyer, like they sell really quickly. A lot of people collect Bill Campbell. So if you ever see something like that vase with that similar glaze, definitely, look at the bottom, see if it's signed. He has a really beautiful cursive signature. And yeah, that's Bill Campbell. This I could tell was like handmade ceramic. It was a cute air balloon, but I decided to pass on that. I didn't know if air balloons were a little specific, if someone was looking for that or not. Now, I really did appreciate how many things were on these shelves. Like, here's a chalkware bookend of a ship. Bookends are great sells for Etsy. I just didn't feel like that specific bookend would be, though. So at the bottom of the shelf there, I did look at that swan. It was definitely, pulling it out, I know someone definitely would want this thing. It was really cheap. It was $3.99. It was a planter. It was so pretty. What I've come to find is people on Etsy, there's so many people looking for swan things that you could definitely pick up swan stuff and resell it. There's always a buyer for swan things on Etsy. I did not pick up that swan because it was big and it was ceramic, and I'd have to double box it, and the boxes would end up getting really big, and I just didn't want to have a big thing sitting around and waiting for someone to buy it. So that's why I left that swan, but hopefully someone local who likes swans will find it. So at the bottom here, I have a, what is this called? I Googled it. It's Federal Glass. It's iridescent. This is a punch bowl set. I only found the cups at that Goodwill. I did look for the punch bowl, and I didn't end up seeing it. And then there was these studio pottery mugs. All three of them were made by the same person because they were all signed the same. I did end up putting all of them in my cart. However, I put back that one that didn't have a match, and I ended up keeping the two that were matchy-matchy. I was going to sell them, and I did take photos of them, but I ended up just falling in love and wanting to keep them, so I'm going to end up keeping those studio pottery mugs. This next figurine, she was very pretty. She reminded me a little bit of Snow White. I think she might have been a hobbyist piece, but I'm not totally sure. I don't really pick up a lot of figurines, and I did end up passing on her. I think I did do a quick Google image on her, and there were some of her out there on the internet, but she didn't resell too high, so I did leave her. And this was just a hand-turned pedestal bowl. I know brass pedestals sell well for me. If a bowl is on a pedestal, somehow that just makes it 10 times better. Now I did kind of check out this brass wall plate holder. I was kind of thinking about it for myself, but the design was a little, I don't know, I like very simple, streamlined designs, so I decided to pass on that for myself. And
that's a waffle maker.
I don't think I picked up really anything from the wood aisle. I did see this item here, and it did very much tempt me. I did want to buy this, but I did not end up buying it. It said at the bottom of it, Grandpa something, so I think a little grandpa made this in his garage, and it had a cat on it. It was cute. And then I wanted to check out this knick-knack shelf, because I think, you know, people are looking for knick-knack shelves, but I don't know, I just decided to pass on that one. So here I am checking out this spray bottle of cleaner. I use that scent a lot in my house, so I actually thought of buying it, but at the price it was at, I couldn't remember if that's like what it normally sells for or if that was less. So I found these candlesticks. It was a pair. It had marble base and a brass candle holder on it. It said $3.99, but only one of them was priced. So I did put it in my cart, and when I got to the register, it was going to be $3.99 for each candlestick. It wasn't for the set. So I ended up passing on them, which was okay with me. They were nice, but they weren't super exciting of a find. And then here's a tin dollhouse with its furniture. I'm sure someone out there is looking for that. They're definitely really fun. That might have been from like the 1960s or sometime around there. My mom said she had a tin dollhouse when she was a kid. And then I checked out their new cart, but I don't think I found anything on it.
So I got a little haul here from today. Here's the overview. So these are the 3 items I got at the St. Vincent. I took off the tags, but this was the first item, this brass pocket change. It is so heavy. It was $2.99. And then next was this wall pocket with the blue bird and the blue vine. And I'll look up who that is and see if I can find them. I do have some wall pockets already on my shop, but there's only $1.99. I had to pick that up. That's cute. I think someone will like that. It has a bird, and so many people decorate with the color blue. And then this I got for myself. It's fondue sticks, and they do look like swords, and my daughter took one out and said, "Arr, matey." So I figured, okay, I gotta put these away. I didn't realize that she would find them so quickly, but I do like a fondue kind of party every New Year's. So that's why I got those. And then at the Goodwill, I got the Paris Studio pottery mugs there. I think they're $1.25 each. And something, what does it say? I know the bottom says God bless you, but there's the name of the maker up top. So I'll look those up too. And then here is that frame I picked up for this paint by numbers. And I already opened it up and cleaned the glass, and I'm gonna put the picture inside. Okay, so we got it in the frame, and I think that looks pretty nice. A little nicer than having it loose. The matting does kind of block some of the paint by number, but whoever buys it could put it in whatever frame they want. The frame does have some scratches on there in this corner. right there is opening. It still feels really tight, but yeah, some seasonal art. So this is out just because someone just bought this and I am going to package it for them, but I thought I'd show you. It's a really beautiful onyx jewelry box with some brass feet. And this was a really good find I found at a local Goodwill not too long ago, so that sold pretty fast. And I actually saw a listing of a box, onyx box, looked just like this on Etsy, actually a few days before I found this at Goodwill. So I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just saw that on Etsy and just saw it in real life. So that was cool. So I'm gonna box that one up and send it on its way.
So at the end, I thought I would try something new, just show some of the stuff that I wanted to list on Etsy. These two items I had pulled off of my eBay. They have just been sitting on there. They haven't sold for a long time. So one was a little frog, one was a Waterford strawberry. So that's just the picture of that. These are the listing photos I took for Etsy. These are those mugs that I photographed and then realized I wanted to keep, but that's what they would look like. And then I had also photographed the wall pocket and the brass pocket change dish. I find with small items, if you kind of hold them like that, they kind of photograph nicely. And then here was the art. So I hope you enjoyed the video today, and I'll see you next time.